If you're thinking of starting a balloon business, watch this video first. Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to run you through an updated version of the pros and cons to owning a balloon business. Back in December 2020, I made a similar video outlining the pros and cons to owning your own balloon business. However, since then, a lot has changed in my business, so I thought I would give you an updated version. If you live in Australia like me, 2020 was an absolute roller coaster, and to be honest, 2021 really wasn't that much better. Now let me tell you, being in the events industry during a global pandemic was interesting. I will never forget that within the space of 24 hours, all of a sudden, all of our future bookings for the next 3 months cancelled instantly. There was so much unknown and there was so much I guess just unknown. You didn't know if we were going to recover from this. You didn't know if we would get back to a point where people are booking things months in advance. We just had no idea. But if you saw my last video, you would know that we have come out the other side. 2022 is a brand new year, and the last 6 months of our business have just been mayhem. So in this video, I'm going to run you through the pros and cons to owning a balloon business. Now, this isn't to scare you, this is to just give you the ins and outs and a realistic view of what it's actually like. I've owned my business for 5 years, we've gone through the pandemic, we've come out the other side, so I feel like I've got a lot that I can share with you. Now, before we get into the pros and cons list, I did just want to mention really quickly that I have a new balloon garland short course coming out on July 18th. If you are watching this video after July 18th, 2022, there will be a link in the description below, but if you are watching it beforehand, there is a link to our waitlist below and there will be a special discount involved if you sign up to that waitlist. This course is cheap, it's affordable, it teaches you all of the basics you need to know. I do also have a balloon garland business course, so if you're wanting to start a balloon garland business in the most profitable and the easiest way possible, I have that as well. I will link everything below and you can check it out there. But for now, let's get straight into the video. Now, some of these pros and cons are going to be very similar to what I posted in the last video, but I am going to elaborate on them a little bit more because there are some things that are slightly different that have made a big difference. Now, obviously the first pro is being your own boss. There is just something about being your own boss where you have full creative control, you make all the decisions, you get to change things in your business instantly that bring in more money. You basically just get to do everything. I just love that anything I want to do in the business, I can do. I don't have to go through rounds and rounds of approval with managers or team leaders or whoever. I make the decisions and it's all on me. However, on the flip side of that, it's all on me. Sometimes in business, you have decisions to make that can be really, not hard, but they can be really frustrating because you don't know what to do. Over the last 5 years, I've obviously gotten this down to a fine art. I don't get paralysis analysis anymore, or I sit on a decision. I just pick what's best to do and I run with that. But that is a big con of owning your own business. And I think any business owner would understand this, is that when you're the business owner, although it's great being able to do everything that you want to, there's a flip side to that being that you have to do everything. Unless you hire staff, but that's a whole nother can of worms we're not gonna open today. Another big pro is obviously the money. So when you're making a heap of money and it's getting really busy, that money is all yours. Something to add to that is obviously if you're bringing in extra income streams. For example, during the pandemic, we decided to create a website where we have a full e-commerce site where our local customers can order helium deliveries on a daily basis and we can deliver it to them. So that was something we built during the pandemic, and now we're kind of reaping the rewards of that because that's already set up. We've got processes in place. However, there is a flip side to this. As you start making more money in your business, you will notice that more money is coming out. If you're getting a lot of orders, you're going to be ordering a lot of stock from your suppliers. There's a flow-on effect. My only recommendation for this is to be smart with your money. Make sure you're keeping an eye on what's coming in and what's going out. And if there's room to be saving money, make sure you're making those moves. For me specifically, during the pandemic where everything was quiet, I kept buying products. I felt like at some point, I didn't know when, but I felt like at some point we were gonna come out of this and it was gonna be mayhem. And I'm so glad that I backed myself. So yeah, I was buying more and more structures, different products to use within our business. But the flip side of that and the con of this is that we ran out of space at my office. My office is 2 floors. So we have a big level upstairs where I've got lots of space, but the downstairs level, which is the ground level, isn't that big. And I didn't want to have all of our structures upstairs because it would just be a nightmare bringing them up and down all of the time. So the con to buying all of this stuff during the pandemic was that we actually needed to rent a storage unit. Now, to be honest, this storage unit is the best thing that I've done for the business. It keeps everything neat and tidy. It's in one place. I don't have to worry about it. It's all secured with cameras and locks and all of that sort of thing. And I just have so much more space in my office, which doesn't like give me that creative block. Like when my office is a mess, I hate it. Like it zaps all of the fun out of it. So having that in one space, having my office nice and clean and organized, part of growing as a business. And to be honest, it's probably a good problem to have. Now, before we get into the next pro, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background because this will sort of make more sense. So when I first started my business up until December 31st, 2019, I was working full time. So I would just do my balloons on a weekend. Saturdays were massive days. That's kind of how it was. And then obviously 2020 happened, 2021 happened, and now we're in 2022 and everything has gone mental. Like I'm talking, we're having the busiest weekends we have ever had on record before, which is amazing. Obviously during the pandemic, a lot of people had to cancel events. They weren't able to celebrate big milestones. So now people are celebrating more than ever before. And when you're celebrating, you want some beautiful decorations. So we are getting really busy. However, as I mentioned before, so during the pandemic, we built our e-commerce website. So we've now got an income of our weekend orders plus our weekday stuff. So we really are busy, right? Now the con to this, we are busy. And it's not just Saturdays anymore. So usually I do garland preparation during the week from either Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm prepping our garlands for Saturday installs. That's just so Saturday runs smoothly. But around that, we also have daily deliveries. So we deliver 7 days a week. Plus, if you're doing a heap of installs on Saturday, you're then doing pickups on a Sunday. And what I mean by pickups is that sometimes we're doing structured installs. So we've got a heap of mesh structures, we've got flower walls, we've got all different things. And if you're going to install into a venue, you then need to pick them up, preferably the next day so it's out of the way in case they need that space again. The other thing you have to factor in is that you need to have preparation days. So usually what I do is we do a big day Saturday installing, Sunday might be more installs, but then also pickups. Monday is usually when I will reorder stock. So I'll look at what's coming in for the next 2 weekends and try and order enough stock so we've got everything there. You want to try and minimize the amount of time you're ordering, but with how the world is at the moment, we're getting last minute jobs coming in all the time. The other thing too is that we're also still getting a lot of cancellations last minute because of COVID. Here where I am in the state of Victoria, we still have rules around what happens when you get COVID. So basically once you test, you have to isolate still for 7 days. So it is still ruining some events, but I feel like at this point, we just have to run with it. Another pro that I wanted to mention is marketing and acquiring new customers. So prior to the pandemic, I was doing a fair bit of Facebook advertising, like paying for ads, whereas now we've completely stopped doing that. And that basically came from not a place of fear, but during the pandemic, I wasn't running any ads at all because we were constantly coming in and out of lockdowns. No one knew if the events they were booking would actually be able to go ahead. So I was like, why would I waste money on marketing, trying to get new clients in when no one's really sure if events could go ahead? So I haven't been doing any paid advertising at the moment, but because we have been flat out busy, a lot of the venues that we've been working in are recommending us. We're getting a lot of organic traffic on our social media. And although we don't have a huge following on our socials, we get a lot of views every week. So that's something to know. If you're thinking of starting a balloon decorating business, do not worry about having a huge following because it simply doesn't matter. The only metric I'd be looking at when it comes to growing your social media is how many profile views you're getting, because that's the best indicator of like how many people are actually coming to check you out. Now, the flip side of this is that obviously with more customers, there's also more competitors. A lot more businesses started popping up, starting to do similar stuff to us. And to be honest, I just don't care. There is so much work for everyone at this point that I don't focus on that. I focus on my own business, growing it and really trying to build a relationship with our customers and our venue staff so that we can continue to grow our business simply by focusing on that. our business. The other con I wanted to mention to this though is that in the events industry, things are constantly adapting. So for example, structures. We purchased a heap of mesh structures. We've got flower walls, but then arches became a really popular thing. And for a long time, I had these arches sitting in our storage unit and didn't do anything with them. There were other businesses in town that started renting them out. And I was like, I think I was just too busy to even really think about them. So now we've got those. So you're constantly like thinking of the next thing that's coming in. We've also got a heap of neon signs. We're actually getting some new neon signs soon, which is super exciting. But yeah, I guess that's a con of running an events business is you don't just buy stock and then that's it. You are constantly adapting to new things, but you don't have to. In saying that, yeah. You don't have to. I kind of mentioned this before, but another big pro for me is that my balloon business allows me to be creative. As I mentioned in the video last time I made a pros and cons video is I've never seen myself as someone who's creative. I think I just put being creative down to someone who could paint and draw. And the only drawing I really do is like stick figures. However, what I've realized is there's a whole scale when it comes to being creative, and my balloon business definitely allows me to be creative in the way that we make our garlands, even in the way how we design our website. There are so many different aspects of it that allow me to be creative, and I just love that it gives me that outlet. Another thing that is really great in our business is getting really great customer reviews. We have so many wonderful customers there's actually some customers that we've done their engagement party, their wedding, then kids' first birthday, second, but like you end up building a relationship with people once you've been in the industry for quite a long time. And that is really, I don't know, it kind of like warms the heart a little bit. So yeah, getting great reviews, a bit of an ego boost, makes you feel like you're on the right track. On the flip side is getting complaints. Now we are really lucky. We haven't had that many complaints, and really do put that down to me being, I don't know, a control freak, or I don't know what I put it down to, but I feel like in my head as a business owner, I always think things can go worst case scenario, so that then at least I've planned for that. It never really does. I reckon, I'm trying to think of how many actual complaints we've had in the business, and there's none that stand out. We've never stuffed up anything major. If anything, it might have been not like an install. This would be more like just helium orders. We might have stuffed up like a bunch or something, but other than that, everything's gone pretty smoothly. Now, the last con that I'm gonna touch on is it risky to start a balloon business? Well, if you had asked me in 2019, I would have said, no, not at all, because everyone's gonna have events. There's no way that all of our events globally would be shut down. And then 2020 happened. So I'm not gonna say anything about a balloon business being a risk. Obviously, it could be. Who knows what could happen tomorrow? The way that I see things now is that if we can make it through the last 2 years and come out bigger and busier and stronger than that, then I think we can make it through everything, but who knows? I hope this video has given you an insight to what it looks like to actually own a balloon business, and I feel like sharing this information is really key for anyone wanting to get into the industry. As I've said throughout this video, I love my job. I love that I get to be creative. I love that I get to be a part of people's special events. Like, people come to you, and as I said, we've built relationships with people where we have been there for their engagement parties. Even some people have done their proposals, engagement parties, weddings, and then kids' birthdays. Like, you're literally there for big milestones in people's lives, and it's such a fun and rewarding and profitable business to be a part of. As I said at the start, I do have my balloon garland short course launching on the 18th of July. All of the links will be below. This course covers all of the basics you need to know of how to make a balloon garland, and it's affordable. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm bringing out a lot more balloon videos in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.